Welcome to another of our series, Technique on Video, on Latin American dancing. This time we're dealing with the jive, the basic figures in the jive at associate level. And as before, Robert and Helen are going to show each step slowly and clearly, and then I'm going to give examples of the presentation of the technique for the Latin American examination. Now, first of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about the presentation of the technique in jive. From necessity, it is a little different to the other dances. First of all, in the other dances, we have foot positions. In the jive column, as man, we have foot positions and lead, which really makes it very much clearer for this type of dance. In the ladies column, foot positions, you'll notice that sometimes the fact that she is turning is mentioned, which also adds to the clarity. Now, as in the other dances, a description can still be asked for. And we use the same method as we did in the other dances, which will be explained in the leaflet enclosed with this cassette. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the rhythmic expression and the action used in jive. Now, every step is taken onto the ball of the foot and the knee will be flexed. As the weight is fully taken onto the foot, the knee will slowly straighten as the other foot starts to move with a flexed knee. So basically you will have flexed knee and then slowly straighten as you start to move for the next step. It's rather like walking up a shallow staircase. The feeling of putting your foot on a step and pushing yourself up through the ankles and the knees. You will use this type of action on every full beat step in jive. Now, normally a quick is a full beat, and then we have the chassés where we're counting quick, or 3, 4, where we have 3/4, quarter, whole. 3/4, quarter, whole. Now, on the 3/4 and the quarter beat, you'll not have time to quite complete this action, especially on the quarter beats. Now, the footwork, every step is taken on the ball of the foot, and normally the heel will lower at the end of each step. But in a very fast jive, it doesn't matter if the heels don't quite touch the floor, as long as the rhythmic action in the knees is maintained. And on the chassés, as I said before, the beat value, 3/4, quarter, whole, will denote that the 3/4 split will not mean that you have an even distribution of weight on each step. So when you take the 3/4 of the beat, you could have part weight and then full weight on the quarter, or you could have full weight on the 3/4 and part weight on the quarter. Now, quite often you will not lower the heel on the part weight step, but it's quite optional. Now, a little word about chassés. When we give the foot positions, we will give the foot position of the first step of a chassé. For example, I will say left foot forward to chassé, left, right, left. Or I will say right foot to the side to chassé, right, left, right. That happens when the whole chassé is in the same pattern as the first step. Sometimes we'll have a chassé that will start in one position and end in another. For example, we could have left foot to side to chassé left, right, left to end with left foot back, just as an example. You'll also notice that I talk about a chassé turning to the right or turning to the left without giving an actual foot position. Now, this is because we don't want to restrict the rhythmic interpretation and expression of the turns. Some people will make their turn a little slower, some a little faster. It will depend on the speed of the turn in this type of movement, exactly where the first step or even the third step of the chassé will go. For example, I'm doing a chassé turning to my right. Perhaps I would take the first step side. I might take it diagonally forward. It might even go forward. So it will depend very much on the speed of the turn. So this is what we mean when we say a chassé turning to the right or turning to the left. The hold in jive is a little more casual than in the other dances, and the joined hands, the man's left and the lady's right, will be a little lower, approximately just above waist level when you're in normal hold. The teaching count of 3 of 4 is best for the chassés. I usually use the count of 1, 2 for the back replace, and I use 3 of 4 for all chassés. So you'll notice that I count 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. This is a very good teaching count because when the pupil hears me say 1, they know they're going to do a back replace. When they hear the 3, they know they're going to do a chassé. Some people like to count maybe 1, 2, 3 of 4, 5 of 6. Or we could count quick, 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 a quick, quick, a quick. There are 2 types of counting given in the column in the charts, and it's up to you which one you like to use for examination purposes. So now we're going to start with Robert and Helen showing the fall-away rock. Right, ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. And once again, 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Now I'll give the foot positions and the lead as man. So I commence in closed facing position, weight on right foot. Left foot back in fall away, turning lady to the right, 1. Replace weight forward to right foot in promenade position, commencing to turn lady to her left, 2. Left foot side to chassé left, right, left, still turning lady to the left, 3 of 4, and right foot to the side to chassé right, left, right, 3 of 4. My amount of turn, an 8 to the left on step 1, commence to turn to the right on 2, and an 8 to the right over steps 2 to 5, and no further turn. The lady does a quarter to the right on step 1, commencing to turn to the left on step 2, and a quarter to the left over steps 2 to 5, and no further turn. But we have some alternative amounts of turn. We're going to give 3 examples. Robert and Helen, please. We can start in promenade position and end in promenade position, making no turn at all. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. We can start in promenade position and end in closed facing position. The lady can turn an 8 to the right on the first step, and then she will turn back a quarter. The man will turn an 8 to the right on his first chassé. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. We can start in our closed facing position and end in promenade. So the man will turn an 8 to the left on the first step and the lady a quarter to the right, and 1, and replace 2, and then the man will make no turn and the lady will come back 1/8, 3 of 4, and no further turn. Just one little point I'd like to make: when the man makes no turn, when he starts his fall-away rock in promenade position and stays in promenade position, his first chassé will be diagonally forward instead of to the side to chassé. And now the fall-away, throwaway. Ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. And once more from a different angle, please, Robert. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. And now, as man, I'll give the foot positions and the lead. So I commence in closed facing position with weight on right foot and dance the first 5 steps of the fall-away rock. 1, 2, 3 of 4. And on step 5, lean slightly to the left, lowering the joined arms. Right foot forward to chassé right, left, right, turning to the left, leading lady away and releasing hold with the right hand, 3 of 4, to end in open facing position. And now the amount of turn. So make an 8 to the left on step 1, and nose turn on the first chasse, and then an 8 to the left on the second chasse. The ladies' foot positions commence in closed facing position, weight on left foot, and dance 1 to 5 of the fall away rock. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaning slightly to the right on step 5. Then left foot back to chasse left, right, left, still turning to the left, 3, 4 to end in open facing position. The lady's amount of turn, she does a quarter of a turn to the right on step 1, and then 3/8 to the left over steps 2, 3, 4, 5, and an 8 to the left over steps 6 to 8. And now we can make a little more turn. If Robert and Helen, you just show this, we make an 8th more to the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Thank you. Next, the link rock. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Thank you. Now, foot positions and lead for the man. We commence this time in open facing position with weight on right foot. Left foot back 1, replace weight forward to right foot 2. Left foot forward to chasse left, right, left, leading lady forward 3, 4, and right foot to the side to chasse right, left, right, regaining normal hold 3, 4. The lady is doing the normal opposite. She is doing back, replace, forward, chasse, aside, chasse. And now we're going to dance the link. Now the link is just 5 steps, the shorter name, so the shorter step. And this is always used as a precede to the whip. We're going to dance the first 5 steps only of the link, but the man is going to take his 5th step diagonally forward instead of forward, so that the lady is coming more forward between his feet. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll show that from another angle, please, Robert. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can also dance the link, commencing to turn on step 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. We can also double up on the link the first 2 steps. In other words, dance the first 2 steps, 1, 2, and repeat the 1, 2. And you can use this at any time where you would use 2 steps of a link, on any figure that starts with 2 steps of a link, or on the link rock, or the link itself. We'll show it on the link rock, please, Robert. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Thank you. Now we're going to show the change of places from right to left, immediately followed by the change of places from left to right. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. We'll just show those 2 figures again from another angle. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Thank you. And now the gentleman's foot positions and lead. I start in closed facing position with weight on right foot and dance the first 5 steps of the fall away rock. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on step 5, commence to turn the lady to her right and then release hold with right hand. Right foot forward to chasse right, left, right, continuing to turn lady to her right under the raised arms. 3, 4. Lowering the joined arms at the end of her turn, we're now in open facing position. Now the change of places from left to right. Dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Almost close left foot to right foot to chasse in place, left, right, left, turning to the right, leading lady to turn to her left under the raised arms. 3, 4. Chasse forward, right, left, right, still turning lady to her left. 3, 4, and lowering the joined arms at the end of the lady's turn. man's amount of turn, he did his normal 8 to the left on step 1 for the throwaway rock, and no turn on the first chassé, and then he made an 8 to the left on the second chassé, 3 of 4. And then he makes a quarter to the right on the first chassé of the change of places from left to right, 3 of 4, and no further turn. You'll notice that I did the amount of turn there in a slightly more chatty way, which is quite acceptable in the examination room. Now the ladies' foot positions. I commence in close-facing position, weight on left foot, and dance the first 5 steps of the fall-away rock. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Commencing to turn to the right on step 5. And then chassé turning to the right under the raised arms. 3 of 4 to end with left foot back in open facing position. And now the change of places from left to right. Dance 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. A chassé turning to the left under the raised arms. 3 of 4. And then chassé back, left, right, left. Still turning. 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. And now the ladies' amount of turn. A quarter to the right on step 1, commence to turn to the left on 2, and a quarter over 2 and 3. No turn on 4, and commence to turn to the right on 5. To complete, 3/4 of a turn to the right over 5 to 8. No turn on 1, commence to turn to the left on 2, and complete 3/4 of a turn to the left over steps 2 to 6. No further turn. And now we can do the change of places left to right with the man making 1/8 turn more to his right, which means that the lady will make 1/8 less. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. And we can also do the change of places from right to left with a change of hands if we want to change into handshake hold. Now our first method is to turn the lady under the raised arms and change her right hand into the man's right hand at the end of her turn. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Another method would be to release the lady so that she turns solo. So the man is going to turn her to her right at the end of step 5. He's going to lead her to turn with his right hand, immediately releasing hold. The lady will turn solo, and then the man will catch her right hand in his right hand at the end of her turn. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. So there they are in handshake hold. Thank you. Right. And now, just a little explanation about the term lowering the arms at the end of the lady's turn, or catching her hand at the end of the lady's turn. Now, this is meant to indicate that it depends on the speed of the lady's turn exactly where the arms are lowered or the hand is caught. For example, a beginner or a less advanced dancer would probably take the turn much slower. The lady would probably turn quite slowly to her right or to her left under the raised arms. But the more advanced dancer is much more likely to turn quickly, probably on the count of 4, doing 1, 2, 3 of 4, practically completing her turn on 4. Likewise on the change of places left to right. So Robert and Helen are going to show their way of doing the right to left and left to right. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4, 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. So you can see that the arms were lowered much earlier. Now we can also do the change of places from left to right with a change of hands. So we're starting with handshake hold, and Robert is going to turn Helen to her left at the end of the second step, immediately releasing hold so that she will turn solo, and then he will catch her right hand in his left hand at the end of her turn. And you'll notice that we're showing this from a different angle. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Now the change of hands behind back. Robert and Helen are going to dance this twice. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Now the foot positions and the lead as man. Commence in open facing position with weight on the right foot and do 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Then placing right hand over lady's right hand, left foot forward to chasse left, right, left, leading lady towards right side and releasing hold with the left hand, 3 of 4. A chasse turning to the left and changing lady's hand back into left hand behind the back, 3 of 4 to end with right foot back in open facing position. And the lady, her foot positions commence in open facing position, weight on left foot and dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Right foot forward to chasse right, left, right, towards man's right side and commencing to turn to the right, 3 of 4, and a chasse continuing to turn to the right, 3 of 4 to end with left foot back in open facing position. And the man made a half a turn to the left over steps 3 to 8, and the lady a half a turn to her right. Now we have an alternative way of dancing this. Start in our open facing position, and Robert is going to place Helen's right hand on his waist as he dances the first chasse. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, he's going to release hold and allow her hand to trail around his waist, catching it again at the end of the turn. So we'll just show that once again, quite slowly, and 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. So that's really a change of hands behind back without a change of hands. Thank you. And now the American spin. Robert and Helen are going to show this twice. First, ending with handshake hold as they began, and the second time, Robert will catch Helen's right hand in his left hand at the end of her turn. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. And now, foot positions and lead for the man. So I commence in open facing position with weight on the right foot, handshake hold, and dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Almost close, left foot to right foot, to chasse left, right, left, leading lady forward and bracing right arm, 3 of 4. And then, on count 4, turn lady to her right, releasing hold with the right hand. Chasse in place, right, left, right, 3 of 4, catching lady's right hand in right hand at the end of her turn, or I can catch her right hand in my left hand. And now the lady foot positions. Commence in open facing position with weight on the left foot, handshake hold, and dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Right foot forward to chasse right, left, right, leaning slightly on the man's arm, 3 of 4. And then on count 4, turn to the right on the right foot. And then a chasse continuing to turn to the right, left, 3 of 4 to end with left foot back in open facing position. And the lady's amount of turn, she will make a half a turn to her right on her right foot on count 4, and then continue to turn for a third half over the chasse. So she has completed a full turn to her right. She can make more turn on her right foot, leaving less turn to make over the chasse. Now we have some alternative holds for the American spin. We can dance it with the man leading with his left hand. We commence with the lady's right hand in his left hand, and 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Or we could catch again with the left hand. Shall we show that one? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. We can also dance it with the lady turning under the raised arms. Again, this is done from a left hand lead for the man. 1, 2, 3, up 4, 3, up 4. Thank you. And now the walks. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, up 4, 3, up 4. And these two chassés can be repeated ad lib. We'll do 2 more. And 3, up 4, 3, up 4. We can also substitute the chassés for single steps, counting each single step quick. We could do 2 or 4 or 6 quicks. We're going to dance 2 chassés and 4 quicks. And 1, 2, 3, up 4, 3, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Now, I'll give the foot positions and lead on the walks. So we start in our close-facing position with the weight on the right foot and dance the first 5 steps of the fall-away rock. 1, 2, 3, up 4. And on the count of 4, commence to turn the lady to her right. Then right foot forward and across in promenade position to chassé right, left, right, continuing to turn the lady to her right. 3, up 4. And then I will repeat these chassés ad lib. 3, up 4, 3, up 4. The man has just made an 1/8 of a turn to the left on his first step, and then he makes no further turn. The lady's foot positions. She commences in close-facing position with weight on left foot and does 5 steps of the fall-away rock. 1, 2, 3, up 4, and then commences to turn to the right on the 5th step. And then left foot forward to chassé left, right, left in promenade position, still turning to the right. 3, up 4, and repeats the 2 chassés ad lib. 3, up 4, 3, up 4. Her amount of turn, she makes a quarter of a turn to the right on step 1, and a quarter to the left over steps 2 and 3, no turn on step 4, commencing to turn to the right on step 5, and then completes a quarter over steps 5 and 6. So she's basically doing a quarter to the left and a quarter to the right. And now the whip. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, up 4. We'll show that from another angle. And 1, 2, 3, up 4. Okay, now the foot positions and lead for the man. I'm going to commence in close-facing position with the weight on the left foot. Cross right foot behind left foot with the toe turned out, leading the lady towards the right side. 1. Left foot to the side. 2. Right foot to side to chassé right, left, right, a very small step. 3, up 4 to end in fall-away position. As lady, this time I'm going to give a description, so I'm going to mention my turn. So I commence in closed-facing position with the weight on the right foot, turning to the right throughout. Left foot forward towards partner's right side. 1. Right foot forward, small step between partner's feet. 2. And left foot to side to chassé left, right, left. 3, up 4 to end in fall-away position. Now the amount of turn, I made a quarter of a turn as man to the right over the preceding step and 1, a quarter between 1 and 2, and a further 1/8 on the chassé. So I've made 5/8 of a turn altogether. The lady makes a quarter, and 3/8 on the chassé. So she has made a quarter more than the man, 7/8 altogether. We can make as much as a turn and an 1/8 for the man, which would be a turn and 3/8 for the lady. So for the man, anything between 5/8 and a turn to 1/8. If we make more turn than the normal, baby one, most of the turn will be made over the first 2 steps. For example, if I wanted to do 7/8, I would do 1, 2, 3, up 4. I left myself very little turn to make over the chassé. Right, now I'm going to ask Robert and Helen to dance the link into the whip, making as much turn as they like. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4. Now we can also do a double whip. We did a double link by repeating the first 2 steps of the link. We can do a double whip by repeating the first 2 steps of the whip. We're going to show the quarter on each of the single beat steps, but of course you could make more. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, a 3, a 4. Now you'll notice we've ended in promenade position. This means that our following fall-away rock will start in promenade position, or a figure that starts with a fall-away rock, with part of the fall-away rock, such as the change of places from right to left, or the walks. Now the whip throwaway, and 1, 2, 3, a 4. Thank you. Now give a description of the whip throwaway. So we start in close facing position with the weight on the left foot and dance 2 steps of the whip. 1, 2. Almost close, right foot to left foot, chassé right, left, right, turning to the right, releasing hold with right hand and leading lady away. 3, a 4. So we end in an open position, almost facing partner. And the man's amount of turn was a quarter, and a quarter on the chassé. But we could make more turn on the first 2 steps of the whip. The lady's description, commencing close facing position with weight on the right foot and dance 2 steps of the whip. 1, 2. Then left foot side and slightly back to chassé left, right, left, still turning to the right. 3, a 4, to end with left foot back in open facing position. And you'll notice that the lady has done a quarter, and just an 1/8 of a turn on the chassé. Now, on both whips, we could proceed with the first 5 steps of a fall-away rock, Robert and Helen. Now, on the chassé, the man is going to turn 3/8 to his right to come across in front of the lady, and the lady on her chassé will just chassé forward with no turn. And we're going to follow this with the whip throwaway. And 1, 2, 3, a 4. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, a 4. Now we've got a similar way of getting into a whip or a whip throwaway from the jive walks. We dance our jive walks, and when the man's left foot is free, he can again dance 3/8 of a turn on his chassé to move in front of the lady, as he just did on the fall-away rock, with the lady making no turn on her right foot chassé. And we'll follow this with a whip. As many walks as you like, Robert. And 1, 2, 3, a 4, 3, a 4, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4. Next, the stop and go. And 1, 2, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4. And from another angle. And 1, 2, 3, a 4, 1, 2, 3, a 4. Thank you. And now the man's foot positions and lead. Commence in open facing position, weight on right foot, and do 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Left foot forward to chassé left, right, left, turning lady to her left under the raised arms. 3, a 4. Then place the right hand on the lady's back to check her turn. We're now in right side-by-side position and lower the joined arms. Right foot forward, leading lady to step back. 1. Replace weight back to left foot, leading lady forward and commencing to turn her to the right. 2. Right foot back, small step to chassé right, left, right, still turning lady to her right under the raised arms. 3, a 4, lowering the joined arms at the end of her turn to end in open facing position. Now the lady's description this time. Commence in open facing position with weight on the left foot and dance 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Then a chassé turning to the left under the raised arms. 3, a 4. Now in side-by-side position. Left foot back 1, Replace weight forward to right foot 2, commencing to turn to the right, and then chassé turning to the right under the raised arms, 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. Now the windmill. We're going to dance this twice, please. Ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Foot positions and lead. For the man, I commence in open facing position. Weight on the right foot with double hold and dance 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Left foot forward to chassé left, right, left. Leading lady forward, inclining the body to the left and outstretching the arms from the elbows. 3 of 4. Right foot to side and slightly forward to chassé right, left, right. Leading the lady back. 3 of 4 to end with weight on right foot forward and have returned the body and the arms to the original position. I'm now in open facing position. So just a little word about the pattern of the chassés. The man's first chassé is forward. His second chassé is side and slightly forward to end forward. Now the foot positions as lady. I commence in open facing position with weight on left foot, double hold, and dance 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Right foot diagonally forward to chassé right, left, right, turning to the left and inclining the body to the right. 3 of 4 to end with the right foot side and slightly back. Then left foot back to chassé left, right, left, still turning, body returning to the original position. 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. And just the pattern of the lady's chassés. Her first chassé starts diagonally forward to end side and slightly back, and the second chassé is back. Now those foot positions may sound a little bit complicated. It's really a very easy step, and I like to teach it like this, if I can borrow Helen for a moment. We start with our double hold, and we just do 2 of the link. 1, 2. And then we both chassé forward towards each other, 3 of 4, and then the man chassés forward, leading the lady back. So we've got back, replace, chassé towards, lead lady away. Back, replace, chassé towards, and I gradually get my noodles to turn to the left, and then using the arms, and the foot positions that are given will gradually develop. And next, the Spanish arms. Romain and Helen are going to dance this twice because they like Spain. Ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. And the description as man. So I commence in open facing position with the weight on the right foot with double hold and dance 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Almost close, left foot to right foot, chassé left, right, left, turning to the right. Turning lady to her left under the raised arms. 3 of 4. So she's now in front of me, facing the same way and slightly on my right side. Then at the end of the chassé, I turn her to her right. Then right foot forward, chassé right, left, right, still turning right, still turning lady to the right. 3 of 4. To end in open facing position, having lowered the joined arms, and still with double hold. And the man's amount of turn, he dances a quarter of a turn to the right on the first chassé, and an eighth of a turn to the right on the second chassé. We could make an eighth of a turn more overall. Now the lady's description, she starts in open facing position with weight on the left foot, double hold, and dances 2 steps of the link. 1, 2. Then a chassé turning to the left under the raised arms. 3 of 4 to end facing the same way as the man, in front of him slightly on his right side. On count 4 she will turn to the right on her right foot, and then left foot back to chassé left, right, left, still turning to the right. 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. Her amount of turn, she has made a quarter of a turn to the left over the first chassé, and then approximately a half a turn to her right on her right foot at the end of the chassé, and a further 8 to the right on the second chassé. So she has made 5/8 of a turn to the right altogether at the end. Now we have a spin ending to the Spanish arms, which Robert and Helen now going to show you. Right, now we dance the first 5 steps as before, and then we're going to stop. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time on count 4, the man is going to turn the lady more strongly by giving a little pull with his right hand and then releasing hold with the right hand, so that the lady will make approximately a full turn to right on her right foot. Can you show that now? And then the man will chassé in place, making no turn, and the lady will continue to turn for a further half as she chassés. 3 of 4, so she will end back in open facing position. So now we're going to dance 2 Spanish arms, please, again. The normal one the first time, and the second one with the spin ending. And 1, 2, 3 of 4. 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4. 3 of 4. Thank you. Now our very last figure, rolling off the arm. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3 of 4. 1, 2, 3 of 4. And now, from this position, we would normally follow with a change of places from left to right. And this will involve a different hand hold, because the man is holding the lady's left hand in his right hand, which is unusual. So he's going to lead her to turn to her left with his right hand, immediately releasing hold, and then catching her right hand in his left hand at the end of her turn. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 3 of 4. Thank you. Right, now I'll give a description of the man's rolling off the arm. So we commence in open facing position with the lady's left hand in the man's right hand, and his weight is on his right foot. We're going to dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. Then almost close, left foot to right foot, to chassé left, right, left, turning to the right, turning lady to her left into the crook of the arm, 3 of 4, so we're now in right side-by-side position. Dance 2 walks forward, turning to the right, leading lady to walk back, right, left, 1, 2. At the end of count 2, lead lady to roll out of the arm by turning her to her right, then right foot forward to chassé right, left, right, still turning right and leading lady away, 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. And the man's amount of turn, he makes a quarter of a turn to his right on the first chassé, a quarter to the right on each of the 2 walks, 1, 2, and then an 1/8 of a turn to the right on the second chassé. We could make an 1/8 of a turn more. And now the lady's description. She commences in open facing position with weight on left foot, left hand in man's right hand, and dance 2 steps of the link, 1, 2. A chassé turning to the left into the crook of the man's arm, 3 of 4, now in right side-by-side position. And we dance 2 walks back, left, right, turning to the right, 1, 2. At the end of count 2, turn approximately a half turn to the right on the right foot. And then left foot back to chassé left, right, left, still turning right, 3 of 4 to end in open facing position. Now the lady's amount of turn, she's going to make a quarter of a turn to the left on the first chassé, a quarter of a turn to the right on each of the 2 walks, and then, as I said before, approximately half a turn to the right on the right foot at the end of count 2. And then left foot back to chassé left, right, left, and she's making a further 1/8 of a turn. And now we have a different way of dancing the rolling off the arm. We can dance it with handshake hold. Right hand, here we go. And 1, 2, 3 of 4, 1, 2, 3 of 4. Thank you. Now, before we finish, just one further word about jive chassés. You can, if you wish, substitute a chassé with a slow step. Slow, slow, instead of go 3 or 4, 3 or 4. Or we could substitute with a tap step, or we could do step, tap. As long as you keep the rhythmic feeling in the knees and just put those little substitutes in now and again, not doing them all the time. So we could do slow, slow, we could do tap, step, or we could do step, tap in place of the chassis. And then on forward chassis, you may, if you wish, shape them slightly by doing a slight locking action on a forward chassis. They're all very acceptable for examination work. So now we've come to the end of the basic figures in the jive, the moment you've all been waiting for. Robert and Helen are now going to dance them for you to music.